She may not be your hero. She's got a lot of fans.
Let me share with you an email that I got the other day. It said, "Dear Ms. Kaufman, first of all, it's actually grammatically correct, and capitals are used in appropriate places, periods, exclamation points. It says, Dear Ms. Kaufman, my name is Connor James Lancer, and I'm 14 years old. I met you the other night at the Republican debate in Boca Raton." First of all, he went to the Republican debate. "I love your radio show, and I would love to be a guest on your show. I am tired of America apologizing for being the best country in the world. And I'm tired of our representatives," and he capitalized represent. You gotta love this kid. "Not representing us. I am the future generation, and I want to have a say in the huge deficit they're going to be giving to us. So many times our representatives talk about seniors. Do you ever hear them talk about the youth? We're the future, and it's about time we start to have a say in what's going on in D.C. I would love to be a guest on your show so I can share with your many listeners the young conservative movement. My website is www.connorlancerforamerica.weebly.com. You can view this website to find out a bit about myself before replying to me. I would like you to help spread the word of young conservatism. Sincerely, Connor James Lancer. Now, what do you think my reaction was to that email? Here I am, looking for hope, looking for some sort of... I go to these rallies and I identify the young people that are at these rallies or at these debates, and the Yiddish word, as Grant and I were talking yesterday, is ikvel, because I see in them hope. I don't see very much hope in some of the dog-headed, yellow dog Democrat seniors that live in my district or in many of the other areas here in South Florida, who are so wedded to a party that abandoned them years ago, but they just don't know anything else. I don't have faith in them. I look at the middle-aged Americans, the people in my generation, and I see a distinct lack of involvement until maybe a year ago. They sat around, they accumulated as many possessions as they possibly could, as though that was going to bring them happiness, world peace, or any of the other things that we all aspire to. And I lose my hope there. Then I look at the sort of the what do they call that generation that my children belong to? I call it the most obnoxious generation ever in the history, and maybe we're responsible for it. They're self-centered, they're self-absorbed, they're disconnected to anything except an iPod and Napster. And they get their news from the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, which is probably the most frightening thing of all. Once in a while, they tune in Rachel Madcow or Keith Obermeister, and that's it. That's their whole worldview perspective. They are pro-Palestinian, or they have no idea of the history of the region, and they're lost. So I have no faith in them. So I went to CPAC last year, and I met a young man. He was 12 years old, or 13 years old, and could identify, and for a while was very, walking around on all the television talk shows as well, talking about conservatism from a very pragmatic stand of view. And when I met Connor, I had that same feeling. You see, there's only hope if the youth of America wake up. So, Connor, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
That was a heck of an interview. Can you live an introduction? Can you live up to it?
I don't know. I'll try.
You certainly can. I have no doubt about that. First of all, Ed Lynch is in the studio, and you came out hard and strong as a supporter of Ed Lynch. Now, how do you evaluate a candidate? Because I'm going to give you a chance to ask Ed some questions today.
Thank you. The thing is, he's not a politician, he's a patriot, and we see that so many people are coming out for their children, not for themselves, but for their children. Patricia Sullivan in District 8, she's coming out as a mother. She says she has a degree in motherhood, and she's coming out, and now we have Ed Lynch, a wonderful, intelligent man who cares about his children and cares about myself and cares about my generation, and I am confident that he will be elected as our next congressman.
You see, we need people who have some conviction, that's for sure. Now, but there's a practical side of politics, and that's when I listen to the hopeful young people who are involving themselves now more and more in politics, I grieve for the realizations that are in store for you. There is a side to this politics in America today that has everything to to do with money and nothing to do with what's right. And, young people are going to be the ones that are going to be responsible for turning that around. How do you think, you can play a part in spreading the word of young conservatism?
Well, of course, by helping and going out and electing candidates like Ed Lynch and like Patricia Sullivan. The youth can't have a say in anything if they're not actively involved. They can't sit around and complain if they don't know what's going on. And too many times I find people are debating with me and they're getting their facts from SNL. And I'm like, well, I can't debate with you because your facts are wrong. And they need to know the truth. And too many times these days, Congress is not allowing us to know the truth.
So what do you do? Do you get your information from the internet? What are the websites that you use? Who are the people that you get counsel from? I presume your parents have a big part in creating who you are?
Absolutely. My parents never grew me up around politics. It's something we never really talk about until recently. They didn't want to indoctrinate me into anything, and I really don't know their political beliefs to this day, and it's not my place to know their political beliefs. So when I ask them who they vote for, they say, well, that's none of your business, and that's the truth. But Greg Mangum from Meridian, Mississippi, he has helped me so much in understanding what's going on in Washington, D.C. Morgan Smith from Jacksonville, she has been a big help. And Devin Stevens from Adrian, Michigan. These are all the youth who are getting involved, and it's so good to hear their opinions.
How do you network? Is it like Facebook? Where are you guys collecting?
Yeah. Facebook. It's amazing the things that technology brings to the table these days. I am the teen chairman of the YCPCA, the Young Conservative Politician Coalition of America, and that all happened because of Facebook.
Wow. So one day you just opened up a Facebook page, and what'd you throw out there? What was the red meat that attracted people to connect to you?
Well, the thing is, I talk about what's going on, not what I want to happen, but what's happening right now. Not what's going to happen in the future, but what's happening right now, and that's important for the youth to know. What's going to happen, what's happening to them right now, because everything that goes on today will affect them sooner or later.
So the deficit is a big issue for you, the money that's being spent, the money that's being printed, the money that they have no right to insist be used in the way they are. What's the worst thing that's happening right now from your perspective going forward?
Well, with spending, this, quote, healthcare reform, this is not going to help us, and they say that it's going to create jobs. It's not going to help us. And when we're spending $200 million on things such as why pigskin smells, this is not something my future generation and I certainly do not want to have to pay off.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about, the idea that you'll be forced to buy health insurance and employers will be forced to buy health insurance for you? Do you think that's constitutional?
It is not constitutional. And according to the Constitution, the 17 enumerated powers, that it is illegal. We do not, government does not have the right to regulate healthcare under the 17 enumerated powers. So now Democrats are trying to throw us at the Interstate Commerce Clause, which in it, they are saying that they have the right to regulate it. However, the one word that is not in the bill, and I find this shocking, is the word commerce. So this is unconstitutional.
Mm-hmm.